Making $171,000 a year as an online sports coach is simple, but not easy. Fortunately enough for you, in this video, I'm gonna break down the exact Instagram content strategy that you can use in order to actually get more athletes interested in your online coaching program and get them signed up. So that way you don't have to try and hard sell them. They are going to come pre-sold, asking you how they can work with you. Okay, I'm gonna show you the exact Instagram content strategy of one of my clients who's actually making $15,000 a month coaching athletes online. Okay, so this video is gonna be an absolute banger. I'm super excited to dive into it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nick. I run an online consulting company helping sports coaches coach more athletes online and make more money so that way they can actually live a life with better freedom. You don't gotta choose if you wanna have an impact or make more money. You can do both at the same time. So if this is your first time here, welcome in. If you're a subscriber, then welcome back in. Hopefully you guys get a ton of value out of this video. I know it's gonna be an absolute banger. Anyway, let's dive right in. Okay, so this is a full breakdown of the Instagram content strategy to make $171,400 per year coaching athletes online. And just so you know that I'm actually telling the truth, you can see right here, $14,300 in the month of October. That was actually a few days ago. He's actually at $15,800, but I don't have a screenshot of that, so I don't want to promote it. And before we dive into the actual tactics, this is a quick income disclaimer. If you follow this step by step, that does not mean 1,000% guaranteed that you're actually gonna make this type of money, okay? I have no idea who you are, what your skill set is, the conviction you have, if you're actually a good coach, your background. There are a bunch of different factors that go into it. So I'm gonna throw out that quick disclaimer before we dive in, okay? So I got three things, okay? And I'm gonna dive into each individual one as we get going. But number one is going to be identify your target, okay? And a lot of people are going to overlook this because they think that it's not that important, or they think like, oh, I already know who I'm going after. I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, oh, I already know who my ideal athlete is. And I guarantee you that you don't know them nearly as well as you need to. Okay? You don't know how to actually communicate to them. You think that you do, but you don't actually know how to communicate to them to where you're going to actually move them with your words or with the content that you're making, okay? So in Dylan's case right here, it's a high-level college or high school pitcher, okay? Emphasis on the high level. The reason why we want to emphasize high level is because the types of athletes that he's going to want to work with are going to be much more likely to invest and get results with his program, right? He charges $2,000 to $3,000 for his online training program. If you're not a serious athlete, you're not going to be willing to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for an online coaching program. You're just not, right? So strictly just by pricing, he's already eliminating people that aren't that serious or that actually aren't willing to invest, right? And that's why I say serious about their careers. So if we know that we're going to price accordingly to only attract high-level players, and we know that we're going after them, then all of our content should be targeted directly to those types of people, okay? And it's very important to know that a lot of these people, they've already tried an online coach. Maybe they've already worked with another company. They've already tried online training. So that's something that's very, very, very important to note, because if they've already been burned once by an online coach, they might not think that online coaching works. So that's something that you have to handle inside of your content. You can't just start posting stuff on Instagram and say, hey, I played pro baseball, or I'm a coach, pay me money. It doesn't work like that. You have to convince people that you are actually the solution to their problems. And if you're not willing to do that through your content, that's okay. Just accept the fact that you're never going to have any success online, okay? Moving on. These are some beliefs that his ideal athletes might have, okay? They might think that mass equals gas, that they can do it on their own, or that they have plenty of time, right? So in Dylan's content, he's gonna make a focused effort to make sure that he is handling this objection. Mass does not equal gas. Dylan doesn't believe that mass equals gas. You might be watching this right now and might think, oh, 100% mass equals gas. Well, this video is not about you, okay? This is about Dylan. So if you think mass equals gas, then you need to take the exact opposite approach and convince people that mass equals gas, because that's what you believe, okay? But you'll notice here, we're talking a lot about who the individual is and how they think, right? Because it's much easier to target the beliefs of somebody and change the beliefs that they have in order to align with what you believe, and then just by default, they're going to buy, right? You just need them to get the fuck out of their own way and start aligning with what you know to be true, okay? So that's step number one, is identifying who your actual target is. There's like a lot more that we could go into, but obviously that is something that I do one-on-one with my clients inside of my program, Remote Training University. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description, but we'll just continue with this, okay? The second thing is you want to identify your best performing content and then double down on it. It sounds so incredibly simple, but most people, when they go on social media, they think they have to create a whole bunch of unique types of content, but that's not true. Okay, once you find a style that actually works and you resonate with and it's easy for you to repeat, then you keep making more of that. A lot of people will tell me like, oh, content takes forever to make. It's like, dude, I'm literally shooting this on my, it took me like 20 minutes to put together this Miro board. Like it's not supposed to take a ton of time. It's just supposed to be an expression of what you already know in the easiest way. And if we look at Dylan's content right here, he's making green screens, he's making these little slow-mos, and he's making B-roll footage. And I'll show you examples of all of these, right? But it's important to note here that Dylan is not taking a ton of time making content. He's making videos that are easy for him to make, okay? So let's take a look at when this was posted. Let me see if I can pull up this little video right here, okay? So this is posted September 14th. It has 8.4 thousand likes. Okay, and it's just a green screen video of him talking. If you want to see what he's actually saying in that video, you can go watch that on your own time. But we identified that green screen videos were a type of video that got a lot of views, okay? Number two, we identified that these B-roll videos, slow-mo of a major leaguer throwing with a lot, with like an in-depth description in the caption, we identified that these got a lot of views, 2.2K likes, right? And then he also had like a DM call to action. So that way anybody who sees this and thinks that what he's saying is like good, then they can come in here and click on that, okay? And then people are also coming in here and talking about, they're arguing, which is always good, okay? So those are the two things that we identified. The third thing that we identified was videos like this, where it's like, B-roll of him or his athletes, and I'll show you a couple examples right here. But there's like music playing over. This goes against like a lot of principles of content because of the production. Like look at that. There's literally a white bar here right there. And people are like, "Oh, I don't want my content to look like shit." It's like, yo, if you've never made content before, you have no choice. Your content's going to look like shit. Okay? So just get the fuck over that. Just get over it, because if you're not willing to actually put in the work to get good at making content, your content's always going to suck. And then number two, Dylan is making ugly ass content like this and making more money online than you probably ever made watching this. Okay? Dylan is not making crazy produced content. He's just looking at the things that are easy for him to make, seeing what performs, and then he's making more of it. Let's look at this for example. Okay? September 13th. Slow-mo of Jonah Tong. Long caption. Okay? How long do you think this video took him to make? 7 minutes? Maybe? Content takes me so long. Okay, look. Another green screen where he's sitting here handling a belief that his prospects have, okay? It's so hard to play D1 baseball. Basically what he's doing right here, I'm going to give you some free game. Basically what he's doing right here is he's taking the belief of, maybe high school pitchers or guys that are in JUCO that think it's super hard to play D1, and he's saying you need to think bigger. You need to think bigger, because if they're thinking bigger and they strive for more, they're going to be much more likely to want to invest into coaching, because their probability of going D1 goes up when they work with somebody who's already been there. That's some free game right there. Ain't nobody putting that out in the online sports coaching space, giving you free game like that, understanding how this marketing stuff actually works. Okay? And then this one, another objection handling type of video. The 95-mile-an-hour routine built off Instagram. So if you've been posting on Instagram for any sort of time, you'll know that people will reach out to you and be like, "Hey, can I get a workout plan?" And so this is Dylan handling that objection. The 95-mile-an-hour routine built off Instagram. Okay? Built off Instagram. That's not how throwing 95 works. I worked with a trainer to throw 95. So did he. And then he just shows a bunch of people who worked with a bunch of trainers or who worked with a trainer to throw 95 plus, right? Because what are people thinking? I can do it on my own. Let's go back to the beginning, right? What are these people thinking? They're thinking they can do it on their own. So why don't we show them examples of people who they want to be like, who also invested in a trainer? It makes you look stupid to not invest in a trainer. And to be honest with you, if you want to play in the major leagues and you're not, then yeah, you're dumb. You're seriously dumb. It's like if you want to coach athletes online and you want to do it fast and you want to do it right, why would you not work with somebody who's already done exactly what you want to do, who's giving you all this game, right? I could probably save you so much. If you're watching this video right now, I could probably save you so much time. But hey, some people just want to take the long route. You know what I mean? Anyway, you can see right here too, another green screen type of video. You've been sold a lie that mass equals gas. You can go find that video if you want. Here's a video of him saying, don't copy him. It's a controversial type of video saying, don't copy big leaguers. The reason why is because he's saying everybody is unique. And that's part of what he believes. And that is an objection or a belief that his prospects have, is that they need to be copying big leaguers. He's saying you shouldn't, that you should become your own best self, right? And that's part of his message. And then another one right here, this is like a testimonial type of video, okay? So it's the same format as these other videos though, right? That's what I want you to understand, is that he's taking proven frameworks and proven styles and just doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on it. And all of these videos take him less than probably 10 minutes per video to make. Okay, so he's just taking his best performing content and doubling down on it. Now, here's the most important part of this entire video. So if you've stuck around to this point, kudos to you. Here's where you actually put it all together, right? Because sure, we know who we're trying to go after. We're going to double down on the most important things, but we need to understand that we're actually trying to make content for different purposes. Okay, most people don't understand, they don't understand that on Instagram, on social media, or just in marketing in general, we are trying to make videos or we are trying to make content for a specific person who is in a different stage of awareness, okay? And let me break that down in simple terms, because I know if you're watching this, you're probably a sports coach, you probably don't know shit about internet marketing. So let me tell it to you in terms that you can understand, okay? Somebody at the top of the funnel has no idea who you are. Think about somebody at the top of the funnel is let's say you're giving a lesson right now in a cage and they just walk by the cage and they're like, oh, that guy's saying some good stuff. They never heard of you before. They don't know who you are. They don't know anything about you, right? But that type of person is top of the funnel. They just became aware of you, okay? And so we are trying to make more people aware of us with a specific style of content. And you can see right here, some of these videos are getting more views than others. That is deliberate. That is deliberate. He is trying to get more views on some videos than others. Like these green screen videos, he really doesn't care how many views they get because he is going after somebody, oops, yikes. He's going after somebody who's already aware of who he is. Now he's trying to quote unquote nurture them or shift their beliefs. Okay? So he's making specific videos that are optimized for views. He just needs more people to know who he is. Then when they become aware, when they start watching his content, when they give him a follow, he starts trying to shift their beliefs. Okay? He starts trying to change their mindset from mass equals gas to mass doesn't equal gas. He's trying to take their mindset from you should copy big leaguers to you should find your own style. You should try it on your own to you should get a coach. Okay? And that is what most of this content here is optimized for, right? Because here's the truth. If you can get a couple videos to bang and go pretty viral, that's going to feed your ecosystem. You got to see this as an ecosystem where those videos are bringing people down into your ecosystem to where now you can start making them a believer, not just in your methods, but in you. Okay, that is the most important thing that I could probably give to you right now. And if you're actually going to take action on this, you're going to get a ton of results out of it. Most of you guys watching this right now are going to do absolute fuck all with this information because you're going to go home, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this information was awesome. You're going to feel like it was amazing. You're going to feel like you accomplished something, but you didn't do anything. Okay? You need to take action on this if you actually want to make use of this video. But anyway, back to the point. We're going to try and shift their beliefs once they're already aware of who we are, once we already get people into the funnel. Then at the bottom, we're going to post testimonials. We're going to show them, hey, I can help you too, right? Because up here, we're just trying to make them aware of who we are. Right here, we're trying to get them to think the way that we need them to. And then we're going to call them to action. Then we're going to say, hey, are you a college or high school pitcher who's looking to throw harder and get the innings that they want this year? If that's you, DM me blank and we'll have a conversation to see if I can help you, just like my client, Parker. Okay? And then we can make testimonial videos like this to show people, hey, I'm actually working with people one-on-one. But people aren't going to be ready to be sold to until they trust you. Right? Why do you think I make these YouTube videos? I make these YouTube videos so that way you see, yeah, oh, if I worked with this guy one-on-one, I would probably get a ton of results because he knows exactly what he's doing. He's helped a ton of other people, right? So this is the exact content strategy. This is how you can actually do it. Is number one, identify who your target is. Number two, double down on what the best performing content is, right? Try a bunch of different shit. Throw a bunch of different stuff at the wall. See what sticks. Look at what's working for other people in terms of formats and styles. I'm not saying plagiarize, but look at what's working in terms of formats and styles. Double down on what's working. And then keep this in mind. We're not always trying to go viral. We're not always trying to shift their beliefs. We're not always trying to call people to action. We're trying to do it sequentially, systematically, in a very structured way. And if you want to learn how you can do this yourself and you want my help directly to actually learn how you can make $171,000 per year coaching athletes online, there's a link in the description. Go ahead, click that, apply, and book a call with me. But either way, hopefully you got a ton of value out of this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.